Victoria, a student of broadcast journalism from India Today Media Institute, would like to start off today's webinar by welcoming our keynote speaker, Mr. Shirish Agrawal, sir, who is the head of marketing communications and brand at Panasonic India, our honorable dean and director, sir, our faculty members, Zoya ma'am, Abhishek sir, Anand sir, the staff members of ITMI, and my batchmates, the student of ITMI. Today's webinar is about a very important topic, which is role of experimental marketing and consumer insights in building super brands in durable sector. But before we start today's session, I would like to introduce our guest, Mr. Shirish Agrawal, sir. Sir is the head of marketing communication and brand at Panasonic India and is responsible for overlooking operations across the country. He is responsible for devising marketing strategy for new and existing products and services and driving sustainable and profitable growth for the company. With over 16 years of industry experience, he specializes in brand media and communication strategy, digital advertisement optimization, consumer insights, trade, and channel marketing with a strong business and ROI focus. Prior to joining Panasonic India, Sir was an integral part of Samsung India's corporate marketing team, where he led several key products and service launches. He started his career.
I believe some disturbance is there, Joya ma'am.
Yes, sir. I request all my students to please mute the mic. Only Sakshi can. Sakshi, please carry on.
Yeah, ma'am. Now I'll continue.
You may. Yeah.
So I'll continue from where Sir started before he was in Panasonic India. So prior joining Panasonic India, Sir was an integral part of Samsung India's corporate marketing team, where he led several key products and service launches. He started his career with Cyber Media and also did stints at Hewlett Packard and Times Internet Limited. At Panasonic, Sir is credited with many successful campaigns from the launch of connected living platform Mirai to numerous consumer durable campaigns. Some noteworthy campaigns among them are hashtag Bake Me Happy for microwaves, hashtag Intelligent Hair for the new range of AI-enabled refrigerators, and hashtag Kapdo Ki Immunity for the washing machine range. I would like to request our Dean and Director, Sir, to please welcome our keynote speaker for today. Sir?
Oh, thank you. I mean, it is indeed a great privilege to have Mr. Shirish Agrawal with us. Good evening to all of you, my esteemed faculty colleagues of ITMI and Team ITMI members, my dear students. And we are assembled here to listen to a stalwarts, the youngest dynamic brand head of a multinational organization called Panasonic, Mr. Shirish Agrawal, a person of commitment, innovativeness, and doing everything experiential. That is the best way to describe his credentials. And I could sense then looking at the LinkedIn, and I used to get a lot of insights and updates on his work. And countrywide, he has been traveling and establishing the brand identity of Panasonic in a very big way, and there are excellent consumer connections and the kind of inputs that we are getting. So it is a very nice to see that kind of brand started engaging with the consumers. So Mr. Agrawal is a doer, and it's a great privilege because I know him his student days. So it is not to be hidden, but let me say the best gift of to a teacher is when the student is getting accolades or recognized in the marketplace or in the worldwide scenario. That is the best gift to a teacher from a student. So Shirish, from a classroom to today as a leader, industry leader, or let's say corporate leader, and I could see that commanding the entire country like India. So it's a very, very proud privilege of mine to have him on board at ITMI, and I could connect that way, that a leader is talking to the upcoming leaders. So it is a connecting between two. I am only a biomedia. Now you can see same teacher who taught in a classroom. You see my, greatest gift of Almighty to me series, and all of you are also a greatest gift of Almighty to me. So I always call all of you as my pandemic time heroes, and my goal, my mission, or let's say ITMI's mission in totality, because my team member also feel proud of each one of you. So series is connecting that kind of emotions way back 2001 to 2021. So it's a 2 decades part. So I'm quite emotional seeing him on this occasion, and I can assure you that he is a doer in a sense, because Samsung deputed him to Korea for an extensive training and different kind of layers of corporate activities. So he was the first Indian that way to get that kind of privilege. And I can tell you, Samsung, when he was heading the brand, so everybody in the country, that knows him, because he was so humble and so consumer oriented. The leader who believes in their consumer or his consumer, that is the biggest thing of a brand stalwarts. And day one, in course of discussion, he always advised me, sir, the past days are gone. Everything is experiential now, whether you are in a classroom or in a marketplace, everything is same. That is called, we are in a experiential society, and in a time where each one of us are talking something after experiencing something. That is the beautiful things. And I can tell you that actually prompted me to request him. Last 2 months, I'm chasing him that I need you for a session, and you need to talk to my children. And I can assure you, my children are best in the market. I can assure you that's how the discussion took place. So anyway, so not without wasting time, on behalf of India Today Group, on behalf of ITMI fraternity, on behalf of my students, and also I wholeheartedly welcoming you to the session. And I'm quite enthusiastically looking forward to listen to a leader at such a young age. I mean, probably the one of the most youngest CMOs or the brand heads of of a multinational company in India. So let's begin with the session. All is yours. So now to initiate the proceedings, series, please give your words of wisdom. Now you are talking to my children. Those are being recruited again from an all India level entrance. And I can assure you, my children are best. It is not by me, but recruiters say that ITMI children are the best manpower in the market. So I am quite confident that your words of wisdom will give them kind of, tips to proceed ahead with their goal, with their mission of life. So with these words, I am concluding and requesting you to start your, talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. First of all, let me just thank Sakshi for such a lovely introduction. Sakshi, your introduction reminded me that, I need to update my resume. It's been very long that I have not updated my resume. So thanks a lot. And sir, Dr. Pati, I am extremely honored. And I think the credit goes to you for whatever I am today. As they say, the teacher plays an extremely important role in any student's life in carving their career, their personality and all that. So I think I owe you a lot. And you don't have to ask me, you can order me for anything, anytime. And the reality is, it's not that he's chasing me, he can order me anytime. So I'll be more than honored to, come on any platform. Having said that, let me just start on a very slightly lighter note. I don't remember when Pati sir spoke so kindly about me or so nice about me, because what I remember of him is him being extremely tough, he being extremely strict with us in our school days. On those days we were quite young, and I'm sure you all must be sharing the same feeling. We used to think, yeah, why is he so strict? Why is he always so focused and challenging us? Why can't he talk softly to us? But when I look back and now when I analyze the situation, I think that's what is extremely important, because the age that we go through, especially in our early 20s, is extremely critical, because either we can channelize our energies, we can focus on things and we can achieve and set goals for ourselves, or we can lose the focus completely. So the role of teacher or your guide is that they keep you on that path of your goal. So I think that's why he was so strict to us, and I can't thank him enough, because it was very easy for us to lose focus at that point. So again, I would say whatever we are today is because of their investment in us. So I can't thank him enough. Now, I wanted to make you understand one very important thing. In our life, starting from the choice that you have made now of being a part of this institute, you will be making 2 to 3 or at max 4 choices in your life that will shape your entire career, that will shape your entire life. Till now, your parents were making all the decisions or choices for you, which school you will go to, what kind of clothes you will be wearing, what you should be eating and all that, right? The first choice that you have made is being a part of this program, this college. That's the first choice that you have made, and that's a very important choice that you have already made, because this will play a huge role in where you're going to arrive in next 10 to 15 years. Okay. Then there will be second or third choices that you'll be making. For example, second choice that you'll be making after this is probably choosing your life partner. I'm sure most of you would have done that second choice already in your course also, because that happens. I mean, let's be very practical. I'm still young, so I can tell you that. Okay, but my point is, so it is very important for you to be focused and make sure the choices that you're making are correct. And if you have made that choice, please ensure that you give your 100% towards that thing, because if you lose focus, then you will not be able to achieve what you're achieving. Okay, and I think you have got a great mentor in Pati sir and Zoya ma'am. Pati sir will not allow you to change your focus. I can guarantee you that much. Okay, so you have to trust him on that. Okay, so on that note, let me just start officially, what I'm going to share today with you all. Before that, while Sakshi gave a lovely introduction to all of you, let me just give you a slight background. I come from a Marwadi Baniya family. I don't know if there are any Marwadi Baniyas in this group. And Pati sir, I must say, looking at the number of participants, I can say that yes, your students are really serious, because on a Saturday evening, if I can see entire class attending such session, that means they are disciplined. And I think discipline is the most important ingredient if you want to achieve anything in your life. So coming back to the point, a Marwadi born in a Marwadi Baniya family has its own pros and cons. The pros are, they never expect you to crack IITs. They never want you to become a doctor or engineer. Okay, there is no such pressure. You're chill. Okay, the only expectation is once you grow up, you complete your graduation, at max you do a CA, or you will join your family business. We come from a business oriented families only. Okay, so the biggest disappointment to my family was when I said, no, I don't want to join family business. I wanted to do an post graduation, and I wanted to work in a corporate environment. My father said, ye to bigad gaya. He kept blaming my mom that you never gave him right set of education, right set of values, and all that. See what he's going to do. And I was like my father was the eldest in the family, and then I was the eldest kid. He said, what kind of precedence is he setting for the entire generation who is going to come, who will join our family business and all that. But somehow my mother supported me. I stick to my decision, and I can say that proudly that my parents are extremely proud of me for whatever I have achieved. So I think I was able to deliver on their expectation even after not joining the family business. So I think again the credit goes to all the mentors who have been there in my life, who kept guiding me towards my goal. Okay, so having said that, today what I'm going to talk about is basically I'm going to take you through the way marketing is shifting in the current dynamics. Now again, many of you will be thinking, and again I'm just wearing my student's hat, you will be saying, I am not going to join marketing. Why all the faculties are pressurizing us to be a part of this forum? I'm going to join finance. I'm going to do a product management role. I'm going to join HR. What is there for me? Why should I be attending? Oh, there is an attendance requirement. Okay, otherwise they will cut my scores and all that. But one thing you need to understand, marketing as a function is such an important function in any organization. No matter which stream you'll choose, you will end up interacting with a marketing guy. And it is very important for you to understand the way marketing works. I don't want you to be specialized in marketing if you're not choosing marketing, but you need to understand certain basics of marketing. Reason being, marketing guys are so shrewd. Okay, if you allow them, they will take you for a ride. Okay, so if you're a finance guy, and if a marketing guy comes to you saying that I need a 20 CR budget for my TV campaign, you need to ask him right set of questions, and justify why he's asking for 20 CR. If you will not focus or not have the basic understanding of marketing, he will take you for a ride. Okay, so no matter which stream you are going into, you need to understand. And on a lighter note, you need someone to blame if things don't, fall as per what you plan. So marketing is blame marketing. Oh, they are spending too much. If product fails, product guy can blame marketing. He never marketed my product rightly. So it's very important for you to have an understanding of marketing function, because marketing function cuts across all the functions in the advertising, in a product oriented or a service oriented company. Okay, so hence, don't these are Zoom e-meetings. Don't do that. Log in kar liya and then you are away knowing that marketing is not my cup of tea. Marketing, it will help you somewhere down the line in your career. Okay, so having said that, let me just project my screen and I'll just take you through a few presentations. And this is not going to be a boring presentation. See, I am still very young at my age, so I understand how a student thinks. Once we are done with this session, I can assure you that you will take 1 or 2 key takeaways, no matter which stream you're gonna choose going forward. Okay, so be patient with me. Now let me just project my screen. Okay, I hope it's visible now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so before I start my presentation, let me just ask, and anyone is free to answer here. What is your understanding? What is the ultimate objective or a goal of any marketer or a marketing function within an organization? There are no right or wrong answers. Okay, so please don't hesitate from raising your arms or answering. What do you think is the ultimate objective or a goal of a marketer or a marketing division within an organization? Anyone is free to answer, and there are no wrong or right answers. Please don't.
So to promote their product.
Okay, anyone else?
Can I initiate?
Yeah, please.
My name is Divyadeep Singh, and I think when you are actually trying to market a product, you are trying to reach the customer, you are trying to solve a burning problem of the consumer. And making him realize that without this product, your problem cannot be solved. That kind of a belief is something that you're trying to generate in the consumer.
Yeah. Anyone else want to try? Yeah, you're right.
So thinking on ideas as to how to increase the revenue.
Okay, yes, Hina.
Yeah, so to give the information about the product.
So I think all of you are right in your own way, but what Hina just mentioned, an ultimate goal of any function within an organization, and marketing is no different from any other function in an organization, is to drive revenue and profitability of an organization. No function within an organization can say that we are not working for driving revenue or profitability. Okay. Ultimate goal, the ways are different. Like Divyadeep mentioned, like someone else also mentioned that you need to promote. Yes, you are doing all of that, within your function, but the ultimate objective of any function, including HR, why does HR do hiring of the right people? Because they want people who can actually come and deliver. And what is the final delivery expected out of anyone within an organization? That a company should make revenue, a company should be profitable. Okay, so please keep that in mind, that ultimate objective of any function is actually to work towards the profitability of the company, towards the revenue of the company. Okay, you all must have seen this campaign of mutual funds. Sahi hai? Okay, likewise, marketing, we should say marketing sahi hai, but just like mutual funds are subject to market risk, marketing is also subject to multiple factors. Marketing alone cannot do everything. You must have read Philip Kotler, 4 Ps. Marketing is also subject to all the 4 Ps. So until unless you have the right product, you have the right pricing, you have the right placement, and then comes the marketing. Okay, so it's the right mix of all 4 Ps put together can eventually lead to the ultimate objective of any organization, which is driving profitability and revenue. Okay, keep that in mind. Having said that, the job of a marketer is becoming extremely, extremely difficult in today's time. Let me tell you why. In 2000, Microsoft did a research to measure how long people can focus on a particular thing for a specific amount of time. The result showed that average attention span of people are 12 seconds. This was in 2000. 15 years later, it dropped to 8 seconds. Okay, a goldfish has an attention span of 7 seconds. Okay, so we are talking about consumers who have an attention span of 8 seconds, which is just 1 second higher than a goldfish. Okay, now why this is happening? This is happening because the kind of information that is available in today's time, you know, on an average, a consumer scrolls through content which is equivalent to the size of Statue of Liberty. Does anyone know the height of Statue of Liberty? Any guesses? What is the height of the Statue of Liberty? अच्छा, Statue of Unity की तो पता होनी चाहिए, वो तो हमारे इंडिया में ही है.
182 feet.
No, Baba. The Statue of Liberty's height is 305 feet. The Statue of Unity's height is 597 feet. Okay, so when I said a consumer scroll through, content equivalent to a size of a Statue of Liberty on a daily basis, they scroll through a content which is roughly 300 feet on their mobile phones. Imagine this is the kind of content that a consumer is scrolling through on a daily basis on their mobile phones. Okay, there is another Oracle ID graph which says that any person on an average owns 5 devices today. Okay, so they have been consuming content through 5 devices. Now imagine the kind of choice that they have, what device they choose or what kind of content they want to consume. Okay, so gone are the days wherein you make one TVC, you put it on television, you do one print ad, and you think your job is done as a marketer. Marketing is not that simple anymore. It's becoming extremely complex. So what it does is it puts marketers like us in dilemma. How can I reach out to my consumer? How can I ensure that I stand out among all the clutter? So when you are doing any advertising, you are not just fighting between your product category or between your industry. You are fighting for consumer attention across all the industries, right? A guy who's going to buy a refrigerator might also be looking to buy a car, right? So how do you ensure that your message also reaches out to him in whatever space that he is in that particular point in time, knowing that his attention span is so low? Okay. So for that, first we need to understand that what role each and every touch point means any medium, television, digital, print, outdoor, radio. I mean, anything that reaches out to consumer is considered as a touch point. A retail store is also considered as a touch point. Okay, what role each of these touch points are playing in an entire consumer decision journey? Okay, now before I come to that, let me just share certain data points with you. There was a research done by Dentsu Aegis Network. I'm sure since you come from a certain background, you must be knowing what Dentsu is. Dentsu is one of the largest, media agencies in India. And Exchange for Media, I'm sure you all know. So Exchange for Media and Dentsu came out with this research in January 2020. The new research for 2021 is coming on 5th of February, which talked about the overall advertising industry spends. Okay, now if you look at the overall Indian advertising industry, okay, and you split that into multiple touch points in terms of share of spends, okay, you will see that television takes the maximum share of spends by 39%. Okay, second is print, which takes 29%. Then comes digital, which is 20%. Okay, after that you have this cinema, out of home, radio and all. Okay, now this is when you're not splitting any industry vertical, you are just looking at advertising overall, putting all industries together. Okay, now since I come from a consumer durable industry, so I would like to share the insights with you from a CD industry point of view only. Now, moment you split this data point industry vertical wise, and if you look at consumer durable as an industry, this data point changes drastically. Okay, remember earlier I said television takes the maximum share of spends. Now, if you look at consumer durable, digital takes the maximum share of spends by 38%. Next is television, which is 30%. Then you have print, which is only 14%. Now, will anyone try to make an attempt that why do you think that consumer durable industry is spending more on digital? Anyone would like to guess?
Sir, can I say, sir, because of the accessibility and the portability that we have got in our hands, I guess because of that digital media is on growth right now.
Okay, but Sakshi, why other verticals are not spending that much on digital? Why consumer durable? If you look at two industries which are spending heavily in this graph on your right hand side, you will see BFSI and consumer durable industry are spending more on digital vis-a-vis any other platform. So,
sir, I guess we can call it the Darwinism. I guess the evolution kind of pattern that is going on the digital media. I guess because of that could be the reason that traditional media or the other kind of media are lacking and the digital media is at forefront. I guess that could be the reason.
Okay, anyone else also want to share something?
Maybe due to the nature of the products, the kind of products that they are trying to sell off, maybe trying to market, is used by people who are mostly tech savvy or mostly people who are on the run all the time.
Okay, that's a good
So
attempt.
can I try?
Yeah, please go ahead. There are no
So I
wrong
think
or right
it's
answers.
So I think because the other goods need that kind of customer engagement. For example, if I'm going to buy grocery, then I would prefer to buy it from a vendor rather than online. So I think that is where we build that trust as far as consumer durable goods are concerned.
So I'll tell you why I'm asking these questions to you guys. And I'm sure you must be doing a lot of case studies. You know why we do case studies in MBA, not in school and colleges, wherein if you go to US and all, they start doing case studies right from their school days only, because it makes you think. When you start thinking, it's like just sharpening your brain. So more and more you will think, you will start articulating things better in your head also, and you'll start communicating it. So it's very important for us to participate. So back in our college days also, when we used to do case studies, while there is a term which is used, desperate class participation is not required, but anything that comes to your mind, it's always important for you to share, because more you will share, that means you are thinking more, that means you are sharpening your skill sets. Okay, so never hesitate from answering. Don't think it's right or wrong or how people will take. Marketing is such a field where there is nothing right, nothing wrong. Okay, you always keep learning. Okay, so let me just make it very simpler or easy to understand that why do you see these two industry vertical, which is BFSI or consumer durable industry, investing so much onto digital? Because when you are buying any consumer durable product, you know that you are locking yourself for a longer period of time. Okay, an average life cycle of a consumer durable product varies from 6 to 7 years, goes up to 11 to 12 years also. An average life cycle of a refrigerator is 11 years. Washing machine is 7 to 8 years. Likewise, television, though these days people started changing television in 3 to 4 years, but if you remember old days, we used to carry the same television for at least 10 to 12 years. In fact, a television is a product never goes out of your house. It might shift the room. So a new television comes, it's in your living room. As it gets old, probably it goes to your kids' room or your parents' room. After that, it might go to your maid's room. Okay, so as Indian, we never take television out of our home until unless it stops working. So longer the product life cycle, and when consumer knows that I'm locking myself for a longer period of time, they do thorough research before making their choice of which brand or a product they have to buy. Because if I buy it today, I'm not going to replace it for so many years. I better do a proper research. Okay, and it's not linked with any money. I'll give you an example. I bought a car vacuum cleaner which costed around only $1,300 to me. I invested roughly 2 weeks in thoroughly reviewing all the review videos on YouTube and all that. What is $1,300? $1,300 is nothing. Yeah, we go out on any party in an evening, we spend more than that in one party only, right? But as a consumer, I know that if I buy this product, it's going to be there with me for at least 2 to 3 years. Okay, so I wanted to make an informed decision. Okay, so any category which is a high involvement category where the product life cycle is slightly longer, you will see that consumer doing extensive research before making up their mind. And this research is primarily happening on digital as a platform. Okay, hence you will see categories like consumer durable, you will see categories like BFSI investing more on digital. Same is the case with BFSI. If you're taking any mutual fund, if you're taking any financial scheme, if you're investing in insurance or whatever, you know that you are locking yourself for a longer period of time. Okay, hence you will do a thorough research before making up your mind. So that is the reason you will see these categories investing more on digital. Okay, I hope I'm clear. No doubts, right? Okay, so just to give you a perspective, like I showed you in the first graph, the total spends in the advertising in the Indian advertising industry. Now, if you look at the industry vertical wise, this is how it's getting splitted. So you see FMCG investing maximum on advertising. Consumer durable spends are 6% of the overall advertising industry. But moment you look at digital, consumer durable spend goes up to 11%. So 6% investment when you're looking at overall spends, but when you look at digital spends only, consumer durable industry is spending 11% of their investments on digital as a platform, or contributing to 11% to the overall digital spends. Okay, now this is a very interesting graph, and you all need to understand. Okay, whenever a consumer goes through any purchase decision, which is called consumer decision journey, there are primarily 3 phases. Okay, first and foremost phase is initial consideration stage, or we can say a evoke stage. What is a stage? That maybe Divyadeep, Hina, Sakshi, you just realized, okay, I need to buy a new mobile phone. Okay, that's a need that arises because maybe there are certain features that are not there in your phone, or something happened with your phone and you're looking. That's the first stage. Okay, then is the stage when you start searching. Okay, you start checking with your friends, family members, yeah, which phone are you using, which one do you recommend. You go to online, you start reading reviews and all that. You walk into a store, okay, you to check which models are there, just to check whether it fits your pocket or not. That then there is a final stage, which is purchase stage, when you actually do the transaction. Okay, a consumer goes through these three stages. Likewise, on this axis you will see there are touch points. Okay, touch points, like I mentioned, are nothing but television, retail. Person here as a touch point means maybe your own experience with that particular brand in the past, or you have seen any of your family members using that or talking about that, or any influencer. See, influencer is nothing. Influencer means maybe your family members are influencers, or any celebrity, or anyone you follow whom you look up to in terms of whatever they recommend, you will buy their opinion. Okay, that's what person here means. Okay, so if you look at these touch points and if you look at the consideration stage, you will see that how the importance of touch point changes. And this is slightly old data of 2018. If you look at the 2020 data, I think this will change even more. But this was a research done in 2018. Hence, this data, I have not been able to get the recent report. So if you look at 2016, in the initial consideration stage, while person was the most important touch point, which can influence your decision, it still remains, because probably your own experience with that particular brand or any of your family members using and talking about it influences you the most. Okay, but television used to be the second most important touch point, which has been replaced by digital. Okay, in the initial consideration stage, then comes retail, then comes television, newspaper, out of home. Now when you come to the active search stage, again the person remains the most important touch point. Okay, but digital, again, see how many ranks it has gone up. From 4th position it has come to 2nd position. Now that's the role that digital is playing, and I'm sure you all will agree. You guys must be going through all the review videos on YouTube. You must be following certain brands on Instagram, on Facebook, going through what they have to offer and all that, which somewhere down the line influences your decision making. I mean, US though is on the verge of blacklisting Facebook and all, saying that they're influencing the voting also. Okay, so this is the power of digital. It's extremely important. Okay, now it comes to the purchase stage. You will see that digital takes the lead now. It is becoming the most important. Here, it does not mean that people are only buying online. No, it does not mean, digital does not mean buying online. Digital means the kind of influence this medium has in the purchase stage. Okay, so I might be standing at a retail store and the store guy there might say, okay, this will cost you 20,000 rupees. What is the first and foremost thing that you do these days? You open Amazon and Flipkart and you check the rate there. भैया ये तो 19,000 का दिखा रहा है Amazon पे, बोलेगा मैडम आप Amazon से ले लो, right? So that's the role of digital that is there in the consumer decision journey. Okay, so it's very important for us to keep tracking such changes that are there in the way consumers are buying or the way they are forming up their decisions and all that. And as a marketer, we need to keep ourselves updated and ensuring that we invest in the right touch points depending on which product category that we are present in. Okay, guys, please feel free to stop me anywhere in case you have any questions. Okay, so there was a research done by BCG, Boston Consulting Group, and Google. Okay, and this is a 2019, so fairly recent report only, which says that by 2023, and this data is again going to revise because this was pre-pandemic, okay, pre-COVID research. Post-COVID, things have changed even more. Okay, it says that 63% of the overall sales that will be happening, okay, will be influenced by digital. Now imagine the power of digital. As a marketer, I just can't ignore this particular touch point. 63% of the sales will be influenced by digital as a touch point. Again, please do not understand digital as someone buying online. You can be buying from anywhere, but the point is that this medium will influence your decision making some point. Okay. Now, this is a very interesting data, again done by Google and Boston Consulting Group in 2019. What it says is it does not matter whether you are buying in store, which means physically from a store, or online from Amazon, Flipkart, Tata Click, or whatever. What it says is, if you are buying in store, only 16% of the consumers stick to the same brand or a product of their choice, which they thought of before walking into a store. Okay, 84% of the consumers actually change their preference just by doing research online. Okay, so only 16% of the consumers stick to their original choice of brand or product. 84% of the consumers who are buying offline also actually change their choice once they start doing a research on digital as a platform. If you are buying online, only 26% of the consumers stick to their original choice of brand or product. 74% change their particular decision. Okay, imagine the power of digital. Okay. Another data point from the same research says that a consumer durable buyer actually invests 3 to 4 weeks of time, which is 64% of the consumers actually we are talking about when it comes to online, and 60% of the consumers we are talking here who are buying offline. 2 to 3 weeks of time they spend before deciding on which brand and which product are they going to buy. Where is this research happening? This research is primarily happening on digital as a platform. I don't go to retail store every day, right? For 3 weeks of time to ensure. Retail store is the final proof of your concept. Okay, you go there just to check whatever research you have done. But what is happening is these days when consumers are walking into a store, they are well informed. They've already made their choice. Probably they are walking to a store, zeroed down on 3 brands. They will just go and do the evaluation there only and decide. Okay, so it's very important for you to ensure that you are into that consideration stage when a consumer is walking into the store. Gone are the days wherein we used to go और हमारे पास की जो शर्मा जी की दुकान होती थी या जो अग्रवाल जी की दुकान होती थी, they used to recommend, sir मैं कह रहा हूँ ना ये ले जाओ आप, मैं हूँ ना यहाँ पर. नहीं, it doesn't happen anymore. A consumer who's walking into a store these days is well informed. Okay, and this power is coming from digital as a platform. Okay, now this is very important for you all to understand, and this again will be applicable to you no matter which stream you plan to choose going forward. If you are a finance guy, if you are a product guy, this is the kind of question you should be asking your marketing guy. Okay, and marketers, you should be following this religiously. Okay, earlier the way digital marketing used to happen, it's very easy for you to track television campaign performance. Campaign performance you track basis GRPs. I'm sure you must be knowing what GRPs are. GRP is nothing but actually a multiplication of reach and frequency. So you decide your TG that, okay, I'm going to target NCCS A 22 to 40 age group. Okay, and what GRP will tell you, okay, if you'll invest this much into a particular set of channels, and if you'll do these many spots, you will reach out to say 70% of your audience in the first spot that we play. 70% of your audience will reach out, and your OTS, which is opportunity to see, will be 12. So 12 multiplied by 70 is going to be your GRP. Okay, so television is taken care of. Print, basically print, okay, I release the print ad in these many newspapers. So there is no other mechanism to track. Okay, if it's a call to action, you will get to know, okay, my sellout has gone up. So you will, contribute that to a print ad. But the way marketers used to handle digital was, okay, I ran a display campaign. I delivered these many impressions. I delivered these many clicks. Okay, I ran a video on YouTube. I got these many views. Okay, but the point is, digital marketing is not that simple. You can't measure the effectiveness of digital just by ensuring, okay, I delivered these many impressions, clicks. Okay, there are multiple factors that you need to evaluate. Okay, so if you're doing any campaign, and in fact, if you're doing a TV campaign also, you should be measuring all these parameters. So the points that you should be looking at is, okay, I ran a campaign. What impact did it had? Did my search query volumes gone up? Earlier, just to give you a hypothetical example, earlier probably I was receiving 1,000 search queries on platform. After doing a campaign, what is the spike that I have got in my search query volume? Okay, whether my .com traffic has gone up or not. Okay, whether my engagement has gone up or not. Engagement means like, shares, comment. Before I started investing, what were the kind of engagement that I was getting on all the content that I was pushing on multiple platforms? After I started putting certain monies for amplification of this particular content, what kind of engagement am I getting? What is the net sentiment? Net sentiment means what negative or positive or neutral things that people are talking about your brand. Okay, so before I did my campaign, I probably had more of a negative sentiment going around, but after I did my campaign, the sentiments are shifted. Now people are talking more neutral or more positive about it. Okay, now this is extremely important, especially in crisis situations also. Okay, and as a marketer, if you think you introduce certain product, okay, and there is not a great VOC going around about that product, it's time for you to change your messaging and test that in the market. Okay, so try with multiple set of messaging and see what resonates or connect with your consumers, and see if there is any change in their perception about that. Okay, so digital can give you quickly that dipstick study also. What about e-com ratings? It plays an extremely important role in the consumer decision journey today. Okay, so I go and I read reviews. I'll give you an example. I was just buying a multi-plug point, okay, for my home, 3-4 sets of multi-plug point. My son, who is just an 11-year-old, okay, he was so hung up on a particular brand that I'm going to buy this brand only. Why? Because he was just going through the Amazon rating reviews on that particular platform. Imagine an 11-year-old kid getting influenced by what he read on Amazon, reviews. Okay, so this is the power that digital have on consumer decision journey. So the point I'm trying to make is, please ensure that when you invest, you measure the KPIs also on the right parameters. Okay, set right parameters for yourself and ensure you chase those parameters. Okay. Now another very important thing. So while we have focused a lot on digital and all, but there are certain things that are becoming extremely important, barring basic hygiene stuff that brands invest. Like if you have huge budgets, you will go on television, you will do print ad, you have to be present on television, but it is extremely important for you to build word of mouth. Okay, so how can you do that? You have influencers. So depending on which product category that you're present in. So just to give you an example, when we do a campaign for refrigerator, or when we do a campaign of for a microwave, we work with certain set of influencers who have that power of influencing the decision of the consumers. So we will bring probably some chefs on board. We will do some cookery classes. So it's very important to work with right set of people, which drives right set of advocacy. Okay, and it is not about them bringing on board and saying, okay, this brand is the best. No, the right way of doing that is drive the usage and application of that particular product. Okay, and then let the decision be taken by the consumer, whether it is right or wrong for them. Okay, so it is very important that you be present on platforms which are being consumed by consumers these days. Okay, for example, gone are the days where you can just say, I have a high investment campaign on television. The reality is 65% of India's population is under the age of 35. 50% of India's population is under the age of 25. Okay, and these are the potential buyers going forward. Okay, they are the ones who have started upgrading their lifestyle. Okay, they want best for themselves. I cannot afford to be not present on certain platforms which appeal to these guys. These guys are not consuming television the way we used to consume in our age. Okay, they have enough choices in their hands. So I need to ensure that I'm present on the platforms which they are consuming. So it's extremely important for you to be part of the OTT platforms, to be part of all the content providers. I'm sure you must be consuming a lot of content by TVFs of the world, Filter Coffee and all that, right? Array and all. Okay, so you would have seen us also doing a lot of integration with these brands, these content providers also, because like I said, as a marketer, it is your responsibility to ensure that you reach out to your consumer where they are present. Okay, you can't bring them to the platform where you are present. Okay, so working with the right set of influencers, ensuring that you are partnering with right set of content providers to ensure that you're reaching out to your TG. Second most important thing is, no matter which brand that you work for, no matter how deep marketing budgets that they will have, no brand can afford to be present on all the platforms throughout the year. Okay, there will be certain seasonalities, there will be certain launches, there will be budget conditions and all that. Okay, so of course you have to plan accordingly, but what is extremely important for you is to ride on the topical events. Ensure that you connect with your audience and do certain topical marketing. What I mean by topical marketing is, if there is a new year coming, think of right ways of associating with new year. If there is Diwali coming, Rakhi coming, Holi coming, Eid coming, ensure that you are present, but don't do a force fit kind of stuff. Ensure that you do a right synergy with that particular moment if it appeals to your product, and then go ahead and ensure that you're present. This, what will do is, it will give you a liberty to create the noise throughout the year and ensuring that you drive engagement with the consumer. Like I said, the attention spans are really low. You need to ensure that you keep creating that buzz whenever it's possible, to ensure that you're engaging your audience. So just to give you an example, the Bake Me Happy campaign that was mentioned by Sakshi when she was introducing, it was a very simple campaign. When there was Christmas, what we did a small setup in one of the malls in Delhi, and we asked people to come and bake cookies there. Okay, and we said, you bake these cookies and we will ensure that we deliver those cookies to the underprivileged kids so that it can bring smiles on their faces also. It was a very good concept, and we genuinely did that. What we did, we just shot that particular process and we released that on digital platform. People love those kind of integrations. I am nowhere going and trying to hard sell my product. I'm just saying, I have this product which can help in bringing smiles on the faces of underprivileged kids. Why don't you come and participate in that? This is one example. Second, when the new year came, what is the first and foremost common resolution that we take when in New Year's? Tell me, any guesses?
Join the gym, get healthy.
Absolutely, Ria. So one of the most common resolution that is भाई gym जाएगा 1 जनवरी से, okay, fit हो जाएगा भाई, ठीक है. So this is the most common resolution all of us take. So what we did, we said we took refrigerator as a category. We said junk the junk is the resolution for 2020. We said take out all the junk food from a refrigerator and stuff it with healthy food. Okay, so these are very small ideas. You keep thinking of those ideas and ensure that you integrate your product seamlessly and deliver that message and keep driving that engagement. It's very important for you to keep riding on the trending topics. Like I said, there's too much of clutter when it comes to marketing. You need to find ways as a smart marketer to break that clutter and ensure that you come up with content which connects with your audience. Okay. Third thing, it is extremely important. Like I said, India is the country where we have the maximum young population. It is very important for you to recruit certain brand advocates, the real life youngsters who can vouch for your brand, who can be your brand advocates. You would have seen certain brands doing it phenomenally. Let me take a name, for example, Xiaomi, OnePlus and all that. They have been extremely aggressive in terms of building their community. You go and say anything negative about the brand, you will see hundreds of guys coming and trolling you also. How can you say that and all that? Okay, so ensure that you are present on platforms. It does not happen overnight. You have to ensure that you keep investing. You need to provide best of the services. You need to keep engaging with them on a regular basis to build that connect with that audience. And once they are in love with your brand, they will drive the word of mouth that you want. You don't even have to ask them. Okay, so this is, guys, you just have to give me a minute. I'm extremely sorry. I never anticipated that my battery will run out. I'll just get my charger in 2 minutes. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, sorry.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
I think I was quick. Okay. So another point, and it is extremely important for you also to establish brand leadership. Now, this will not happen overnight. There are certain steps that as a brand you need to take to ensure that you build on that brand leadership. And the first and foremost thing is cause marketing. There are many research available on internet, and you will go and find out. You will say that, and this is not a phenomenon just in India, it's a worldwide phenomenon. Millennials actually connect with the brands wherein they think that a brand is doing enough to give it back to the society. Okay, so if you, as a brand, we need to ensure that we are taking certain steps wherein we are solving certain societal problems, and don't feel ashamed. Go and talk about it in a positive manner, which can actually encourage others also to take that initiative and be a part of that particular momentum. Okay, so we have been working on those steps also. For example, during Diwali, we launched a campaign of Diwali Wali Safai, wherein we asked people to give back their old electronics and all that, and we went and we collected that also. Okay, another very important thing is to drive retail excellence. When I say retail excellence, I just don't mean offline store. It's very important for all of us to understand there are no brands today that can say that I can sustain just by being present offline or just by being present on online. Okay, I think the lines are getting blurred. You would have seen many brands who entered in India market just through online channel. Okay, and they were present on online, having no presence offline. But slowly you would have seen them actually expanding their base offline also. Okay, because they realize India is such a vast country that no brand today, if you want to scale up, if you want to gain market share, you have to ensure that you are present on both the platforms. Likewise, there were traditional brands who were primarily an offline brand. They never thought of being present on online, but they had no option left. They had to come on online brand platform also. Okay, so there is no brand today who can say I will sustain, I will ensure that I maintain my market share just by being present on online and offline. It's the responsibility of a brand to provide seamless experience to the consumer irrespective of the platform that you're present on. Okay, make sure that whenever you're executing any campaign, you follow the GTM timelines. You ensure that all the channels are taken care of. You can't afford to focus on one particular set of channel and ignore the other one. Okay, and the experience have to be same. I can't be saying one thing on an offline and another thing on an online. Okay, so this much integration you need to ensure that you have in your communication. Last, as a marketer and as a human being also, whenever you are doing something, recognition actually motivates or boosts your effort. So ensure that whatever work you are doing, you keep submitting certain entries into your what functions and all that. If you are doing a good work which you believe and you truly think that this is one of the best work that you have done, don't be afraid of participating or nominating that work, and show it to your entire management or your employees and colleagues and all that, because everyone needs that motivation in their life for them to keep moving. Okay. So in the end, let me just summarize whatever I've said, and I've just put a summary of 4 touch points. Okay. If you're doing a TV campaign, okay, and okay,
Raja
so,
Kumar, please mute yourself.
So if you're doing a TV campaign, it's a function of budget also. Okay, but ensure that you are present on certain properties which are high impact properties. Okay, so just to give you an example, if an IPL is happening, okay, IPL usually gets a rating of 5.5. This is the rating that was shared for 2019. Vis-a-vis the other programs during that period gets less than 1 rating. Okay, now again, I'm saying this is a function of budget also, but as a marketer, you should ensure that if you're taking a certain property, you should be doing justice to that particular property. Don't treat print just as a tactical, medium. Okay, ensure that you make right use of print as a platform, and keeping in mind the consumer decision journey that I showed you, make sure that you implement or execute print campaigns keeping in your consumer decision journey. Okay, digital, like I said, search, display, social is hygiene. Ensure that you focus on people speak. Gone are the days where consumers used to believe what just brand has to come and say. Okay, now people speak is extremely important, because we believe and we look forward to others in terms of their experiences, and I think it's easy to convince consumers when they get to hear from their own peer groups or from their friend and family, instead of just brand coming and saying that. Okay, so like I said, influencer strategy is extremely important. Drive tech reviews. Don't be afraid of sharing products with people in the particular domain and let them talk about your product. Okay, if you're confident about it, I'm sure they will say good things about it. Make sure that you are focusing on e-com reviews and ratings also. Okay, last, like I mentioned, it's extremely important to identify your TG and ensure that you're present on a platform that is being consumed by your TG. Okay, you can't expect them to come on the platform where you are present, rather you have to go where they are present. Okay, out of home, one of the biggest mistakes that companies do is that they spread themselves too thin. Okay, so for example, they will have certain budget, they will take 15 cities, 20 cities, 30 cities, and they will put 2 to 3 outdoor sites in each of the cities. Okay, that's not the way you should be executing it. You need to ensure that you have a certain strategy when it goes to outdoor. Make sure that once you have minimum threshold visibility in a particular city, then only you should be going on other city. So pick your focus market and ensure you drive decent visibility in that market before looking into and entering any other market. Okay, so this is out of home. Cinema, again, most of the brands make a mistake there, and they try to be present in all the cities, all movies and all that. Does not make sense. If you have limited budgets, especially as a cinema as a platform, make sure that either you pick a blockbuster approach wherein you decide, okay, I'm going to pick 10 to 15 movies that are going to release this year, which are considered as blockbuster release. I'll be part of that. Or you pick an approach season basis. Okay, so there are right ways of picking each and every media. End of the day, what you need to keep in mind is that your consumer has a certain journey that they go through. You need to ensure that you're present in right touch points and you're driving right messaging. Okay, so I think this is what I wanted to deliver. And like I said, these are the times when you are maintaining social distancing. I think even the vaccine comes after that also, we have to maintain social distancing. But make sure that when you become a marketer, your brand should be extremely close to your consumers. Okay, make sure that you chase your consumers no matter where they are and be present there. Okay, so this is all I had to present. In case you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those questions.
Sir, before we go ahead with the questions, I would like to request everyone to please put your names in the chat box, so then I can call out your name and then we can go ahead with the questions. Meanwhile, sir, can I ask you a question? Sir, I read about this hook model in the Hooked, the book written by Neer Eyal, and I saw something about it in the Social Dilemma, which was released in the Netflix as well. Sir, how relevant the hook model is for the marketing and for the digital platform at the same time? That, sir, should I tell you in a brief about the hook model, or do we know about?
No, please, you can elaborate actually. Yeah.
Yeah, sir, basically what happened is you generate triggers for the audience in external and internal matter, and then they are supposed to get curious about what content you are supposed to release later on in the stages, and then you let your audience know about the rewards you are going to give them. And that's how a circle and a cycle is formed
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
the entire product and the services you are going to provide to your audience. So how relevant it is for the marketing and digital world apart from the OTT platform and the content we are seeing on the platforms nowadays.
Okay. Okay. So, you know, any technology is a double-edged sword. And since you mentioned about Social Dilemma, also you must have seen that all the ex-employees who were part of the development phase and all that, how they've been talking about that the intent with which they were making or making the changes in the platform, for example, Gmail and all, they wanted it to be extremely addictive. Okay, that was the reason. Okay, so you know it's a double-edged sword. It's a very thin line. If you are making use of any technology, please make sure that you have the right intent towards it. Okay, hook as a term, yes, as a marketer, I would always like to hook my consumer with me, but not with a wrong intent. That is extremely important. Okay, the point systems or the reward system that you have been talking about was firstly probably introduced by all these financial companies, the credit card companies and all that. But the whole point is that you wanted to drive more usage, and then as a reward, you give them certain points which they can go and redeem. Okay, nothing wrong in that. But what is extremely important, please make sure that if you're trying to engage with your consumers, your intent should be right. My intent should not be that I want to change their mindset. I want to, make addictive to my offerings and all that. That should never be the intent. I think if any action that you're taking is towards the betterment of your consumer, is towards the betterment of the overall society, I think it's perfectly fine. More and more brands, if you're talking about, have started realizing that because we are extremely educated these days. Everyone is at a click of a button, you can go through the content. You can see the flag that all these platforms like Facebook and all are also facing these days, and they are also making changes in their approach. So I would say there is nothing wrong in hook marketing as long as the intent of the brand is extremely clear and the approach is towards making their consumers' life better. I think it's perfectly fine.
Sir, connected to that, I just wanted to mention that I have been the part of, the review part that you mentioned, that your son has been hooked after, going through the reviews on Amazon. So I also got hooked to a lot of reviews and I have been conned as well. So how ethical it is to get influencers on board while you are going forward with the digital marketing nowadays and influencing your audience to purchase something and getting hooked on your platform at the same time. But if it is not ethical, you mean, what about the
Absolutely right. I think this is a very valid question, and let me just answer that to you. There are different ways the brand utilize influencers. Okay, and like I mentioned during my presentation also, our intent is never to use an influencer wherein they just go and talk nice things about the brand. No, we don't do that. Okay, what we do is, first and foremost, we send out a product to the influencer. We let them try and test our product. If they genuinely like the product, then we ask them to talk about it. Okay, having said that, we never ask them to say things like, okay, this is the best brand, this is the best product and all that. We always ask them to talk about the usage and application of the product. And why so? In a consumer durable category, the penetration of consumer durable is extremely low, barring television where you have 65% penetration, and refrigerator has roughly 34% penetration. Washing machine has just 14% penetration. Okay, sure. ACs have only 5% penetration. Microwaves have only 1% penetration, less than 1% rather. So until unless I as a brand go and talk about the usage and application of the product to the consumers, to explain them that this is how it makes your life simpler, this is how it helps you multitask, this is how it can keep you healthy, safe. I mean, I cannot drive the usage of the product. Okay. So our intent is never to use influencers in a wrong manner, wherein if they don't believe in something, we don't force them to say that. Okay. And I think more and more brands have started realizing that, because like you said, Sakshi, consumers are also becoming smart. You just can't con them. You know, Amazon on a platform, if Amazon realizes that any brand is driving a paid review, they immediately block that account. Okay. So there is a lot of hygiene that are coming in this platform. And like I said, it's still a new platform. People are still exploring it. But as and when someone is finding any loopholes, I think it's being fixed. But a lot of onus depends on brands that, yes, you cannot cheat your consumers. You can't just go and talk about something which you do not believe in. Okay. And I think we at Panasonic, I can say that very proudly, that we have been utilizing influencers in the right manner. And our intent is always to drive usage and application of the product for the overall betterment of the society and human beings.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering my question.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? You can put your name in the chat box and then, yeah. Hina. Sir, Hina, I have a question.
Yes, Hina.
Hina, please go
Sir,
ahead.
yeah. Do I need to write the question, Sakshi?
No, you can.
No, you can read it out. You can read it.
So I just wanted to ask, like, conventionally, what we would used to do is like go out with friends and family members and buy something. So how can we bridge this gap digitally? Do you have any ideas to kind of get that feeling, that conventional feeling that we would go out with the friends and family members to shop?
See, Hina, actually, the overall shopping experience is changing. Like I said, there is no offline or online buying these days. I think the lines are getting extremely blurred. Let me give you an example. I walked into a Chroma store last weekend. Okay, I went to the store. I was looking for a particular product. Okay, now a brand that I was looking for was not present in that particular store at that point of time, wherein there was some other brand that was available. However, what Chroma guy did, he just started. There was a huge screen which was a touch screen, and they had this Chroma website open on that particular screen. He just scrolled on that particular website for me, and he found out that there's another store in Gurgaon which was probably 10-15 kilometers away from here. That model, that brand was available on that particular store. He just ordered that particular thing from me for me from there, and next day it arrived at my place. Okay, so the point is, what are brands trying to do? Brands are trying to do that they wanted to make this entire journey for consumers extremely simple. It is up. See, if you want to walk into a store and you want to buy there, you can do that. If you're not comfortable, you want to buy it from from comfort of your home, you can order there also. Or you wanted to walk up to a store, but you want to experience a large range of brand SKUs, you can do that also. If not physically, you can go and check their website then and there only, and you can make a call. Okay, so I think brands are not stopping you from whatever experience you want to have. They just wanted to provide you best of the experiences depending on how comfortable you are and the way you want to buy. All brands are heading towards that direction. Adidas is one of the examples. You go to Adidas store today, you can check physically the lineup there. If you don't want to buy then and there, you can place an order online. It can get delivered later on also. If there is a certain SKU that is not available at that particular time, you can place an order. Again, it will get delivered for you. So I think brands are not stopping you from whatever best experience that you like. It's just that they are giving you more choice to choose from. So it's up to you.
So we have next question from Riya Modi. Riya, please go ahead.
Thank you, Sakshi. Good evening, sir. So my question is, in the earlier days, we were taught about the AIDA model for marketing. So, but now with the era of digital marketing, the time span has reduced a lot. So still we go with the same model, or the model has changed for people now?
No, so Riya, like I mentioned, marketing is evolving on a daily basis. Okay, a model that used to work a year back does not work today. Okay, and depending on which product category or service that you are managing, and depending on your consumer choices, okay, a consumer buying pattern for a particular category might differ for another category. Okay, the way I look at buying a car or the way I look at buying a mobile phone is completely different. Okay, so depending on which product category or a service that you are handling as a marketer and your consumer's decision journey, you need to take that call. There are no one size fit all model for any product category or for any consumer. Okay, the same consumer might have a different way of buying a particular thing when it comes to one category, or a different way when they're looking at another different category. So keeping that in mind, you need to devise your strategy. There is no one size fit all strategy for any brand.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, we have next question from Nitish Kumar. Nitish?
Yeah. Hello, sir. So first of all, fantastic presentation, sir. So my question is that I read it that advertising is only able to drive around 16 to 18% of the customers, wherein 82-84% customers are drive through word of mouth. Since India is a low trust country, here the competitors, like only few competitors have all maximum market share. If you talk about Geo, or if you go into the transaction sector, if you go into the car manufacturing sector, so this is a low trust country. So what is your take on this thing?
I think this is what you just said in the slide that I presented on the consumer decision journey. It's actually matching with that. If you would have seen the initial two stages that I was talking about, people was at the top, in terms of touch point. What was people? People was just word of mouth only. Okay. And when we talk about influencer marketing, is another form of driving word of mouth only. Okay. Hence, you would have seen brands across product categories, whether it's automobiles, whether it's BFSI, whether it's consumer durables, whether it's mobile. Why do you see lot many, suddenly Instagram influencers have popped up, YouTube reviewers have popped up? What are they doing? They are driving that word of mouth for you. But like I answered earlier also, it's extremely critical for brands to ensure that they use this platform in a right manner with right integrity. Okay, you should not be leveraging influencers to drive something that your brand does not stand for or your product does not stand for. Okay, yes, word of mouth plays an extremely important role, and it is not just to do with lack of trust. I think as a human being only, we always look up to people, or we always look up to experiences. Okay, and we buy in those experiences. When a tech influencer, for example, Gaurav Chaudhary, who's the number one, tech influencer in India and globally, which is a number second or number third position, comes and talks about any product, I think he's also putting his own reputation at stake. Okay, he would not come and say anything just because he do not believe into that. I think he will only say things about a particular product if he likes so, because he has this huge follower base and he would not like to disappoint them. Okay, so influencer marketing, hence I mentioned very specifically, is becoming extremely important to drive that word of mouth. Keeping in mind the brand should not be misusing this particular platform, and people speak will always be far important than brand speak. Okay, we will always believe more on what people have to say rather than what brand has to say. Okay, so there is nothing wrong in driving influencer marketing if you are doing it in the right manner. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, next question is from Divyadeep. Divyadeep, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sakshi. Sir, I had a question. I went through I was listening to your PPT very well. Actually, sir, I wanted to just know that with the changing times and post-COVID era being existing now, can we say that the traditional marketing techniques and tools and models that have been existing so far have completely taken a backseat? Or are they still on a stage where they can be utilized effectively or efficiently?
No, we can't say that all other mediums will not be as effective as it used to be pre-COVID era. I think each and every medium has its roles to play. Now, like I said, the initial stage, which is an evoked stage, television as a medium works the best in the evoked stage. Okay, the kind of reach that television gives you, I think there is no other medium in India that can give you that kind of a reach. Okay, with sheer by the number of television sets that are there in India. Okay, so a print, people have been saying that print is as a medium is dying from last 10 years. Have you seen print going out? No. Okay, so it's just that the importance might change, the roles might change, but that medium is gonna be there. And I've been mentioning that again and again, depending on which industry you represent, which product or service you represent, and depending on your consumer way of behaving, their decision journey, you need to make the right mix of all the touch points. You can't just say that, okay, suddenly pre-COVID people, post-COVID people have stopped walking out of their homes, they have been buying online only, so let's just invest on digital. No, that's not the reality. I think the right mix of all the touch points will have a multiplier effect in your GTM strategy. So you need to choose that mix very carefully, depending again of your better understanding of your brand, your product, and your consumer. All mediums will have their own role to play in different stages of the consumer journey.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question is from Prasad Mishra. Prasad, please ask your question.
Thank you,
Prasad?
sir. Yes. What are the development of brand experience among the positive generation through consumer advertisement?
Sorry, Prasad, just elaborate that question.
What are the development of brand experience among the positive generation through consumer advertisement?
So if I have to summarize, you are saying that advertisement, what kind of experience advertisement gives to a consumer? Is this how you're